So if we ever had a little splurge money, so that'll be never. Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to Ohrmundt Simmentals. This is Chris. All right, it is Monday afternoon, and the name of the game today is bedding. We have to do a lot of bedding. It got pretty warm over the weekend, so things have kind of thawed out, getting things pretty sloppy, and they were getting to the point where they were getting close to needing bedding anyways. This weekend I didn't record anything because we worked solely on the project at Mom and Dad's. So all we did farm-wise was feed. So one thing we did do, took advantage of Dad having the bucket on. This was starting to get pretty muddy, and I'm going to move these two tubs. They're lick tubs getting there. Mineral tub, that's going to be a little trickier, but I think I'm going to move them over to there for right now, because what happens when this gets soft and then they come up here, all they do is they just track stuff up here. But this was like hard as a rock 3 days ago, so since it's softened up, we got this scraped away. That's our biggest, this pad is our biggest pain in the butt come springtime, because you want to make sure that you have a path off the pad over towards the gate, because that is our descent path. And the other part about having a barn, that is literally 18 inches or 2 feet below where I'm standing now. It does not bode well in the springtime when things thaw and a lot of water runs. Okay, so we moved it from there just over there. Kind of pisses the bull off because he can smell the lick tub, but he'll get over it. One pretty cool thing that we noticed today, and a good sign that regardless of what they look like, and honestly she looks good, is that 75, our Bold Ruler, I think Bold Ruler out of a state of war, she's in heat today. It's the first time we've seen her in heat, so that's always a good sign when things are starting for us. When heifers are coming in heat before Christmas, that's a good sign. That means they're growing decent, they're in good shape, they're getting everything that they need, honestly, to just develop and mature properly. When Dad feeds that out, I'm gonna grab a bag of mineral. He actually had the nerve to ask me if the water was running over. Can't believe it. Well, that's happened plenty of times. So it's a valid question, obviously. We've done that more times than we care to admit. Another bag of the Nutri Beef, the all-purpose, seems to be doing all right. I think, and still using the red trace blocks for the cows. I think probably late January, early February, we'll add a trace block. We'll add a selenium trace block, that's what I'm trying to say, so that they get a little more selenium in their system before those calves start hitting the ground. And I say like late January time frame, early February. Heifers, first calves due in mid-February, and if memory serves me correctly, I think what I had read the last time is that feeding supplements, certain supplements, it takes like upwards of like a month for it to really start taking effect. So if we ever had a little splurge money, so that'll be never, a bale processor would be really nice, because that would really help out this process. But it would have to be the kind where it shoots up over the top. But I think that style would work really nice for us, because we can, I mean, our fences aren't super high, and we can get around 3 sides of them. We'd be able to bed everything really decently, and I wouldn't care if a little bit of it got in to the mangers either. And then it would also alleviate the issue of, you know, if we're bedding with hay, that would beat that stuff up a little bit too. Bale processor would be sweet. I look for them every once in a while. You can never find them for less than like $5 grand, and those are pretty beat up. Just a quick update. I've already shown this, but he's lost both of his horns. They're not even drooping on either side. And I can't see even a hint of red where the scab would be. So dehorning with bands, 100% total success. That was a really good one. That turned out really nice. Hey, how's it going? All right, it is Tuesday afternoon. So we know it's gonna start getting colder in a couple of days. So we're gonna check our tractors. So Mahindra's running, we're gonna use that guy. Not really too worried about that one since we use it every single day. 2030 we're gonna start up, and the 29 we're gonna start up right now. All right, 2030 has always been a little bit cold-blooded. Much better since the rebuild. But we probably should have had that one plugged in. The 29 still needs new batteries. I know, I've been saying that for a while, but it does. All right, so this is what the next day looks like when these guys get a full bale. So they've got a pretty sweet spot in here. Now we're gonna start checking some fluids. This guy, the Mahindra, we want to check the hydraulic level on it. All right, we probably should pull this guy out and blow that off too. Oh, that's a little nicer. Oh, that's better. Let me get that filled up a little more. Now we're at -20. Mo better?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Mahindra's at about -20, and we actually noticed the radiator was pretty dirty, so we blew that thing off too. 2030 was more in that -15 range. Still probably not a big deal, but we topped that off with some concentrate, so it's gonna be in that like -15, which is fine for right now. Now we'll check the 29. And the 29 is probably the one that we're the most unsure about. Let's see what we got going on here. Kind of in that -15 range again. But I think I can top this one off too, I think. So we got those 3 tractors topped off and checked. Everybody's at -15 or better. Should be okay. The 44 we had checked a while ago when we added a bunch, and that was at like -20. So should be good in that department. And then the hydraulic level actually looked okay. But it's hard to check oil levels on this thing, on the Mahindra. Go figure. So, but yeah, at least we're ready for that. We don't have to do it tomorrow night. So yeah, that's enough for today. I think I'm a little late. I got to put up some Christmas lights. So catch you guys tomorrow. Hey, how's it going? All right, it is Wednesday afternoon, and it looks way nicer out here than it feels. One of those days in the wintertime when you go to work in the morning and it's warmer in the morning than it was when you get home. So one thing that I've been working on this week to finalize is all of my ASA stuff. What is today? The 11th. Today is the 11th of December. So to get like for the total herd enrollment and to get the benefits of submitting that info, submitting your data on your calves, that needs to be done by the 15th. So I need to get that done. I was going to do a video on it, but I got behind. So really what that entails, it's submitting birthdays, bull, steer, cow, whether it was an unassisted birth, a light pull, heavy pull, was it twins, just reporting all the data that you can for the calf. And then stuff that's registered, we get EPDs back on it. It's there's 3 different options you can pick, and they're all different, but the one I pick is usually one that works out the best. So like I said, there's 3 different options where you can enroll all your cows in a total herd. You can enroll all your cows in a total herd enrollment for like $15 a piece, and then it's you get EPDs and registration of any of your calves is free. Option B, it's like you submit all your cows into enrollment, and then registration of any of your calves is $30. Well, we only register like maybe 6 or 8 animals a year, replacement heifers and bulls, and then you only get EPDs on stuff that you register. So there's kind of a downside to that. Then there's an option C where you submit everybody or enroll everybody for like $7.50, I think, and then registration fees are still $30, but you get EPDs on all of them. So there's pluses and minuses to all of them, and I try and math it out every year as to would it just be cheaper to submit all of them for $15, get all the EPDs, registration for free, but we don't register enough every year to do that. That's what the total herd enrollment is kind of all about. It's just reporting production on their calves so that data is in there for the dams, and then are they still in your herd. So that's just another thing alongside of submitting your info. And then along with that, naming the calves that we're going to keep, the bulls and the heifers, putting a name and their numbers, inputting that kind of stuff. And so that all needs to be done. I have 95% of it done. Okay, they ate half of that bag of mineral that I gave them last night. I might have to get them a bag of loose trace mineral. I was thinking about that last night because they must be really going after some salt right now, because that will happen. And then what I'll do is I'll sporadically go buy some loose salt. So I might have to do that. But if I do that, maybe I'll do a bag of Redmonds or something. Maybe a little bit higher quality. We will try to focus some of the bedding up in this area. One, you are kind of closer to the buildings and the fences and stuff, a little bit more windbreak. And then this also is a little bit higher ground, so that come springtime, or especially in springtime, but on warmer days, if there is any snow melt, it'll run off. So another thing to notice right off the bat, we did have a little bit of snow today, and yes, it is cold, but what you do see is that snow is still on their backs, and that's actually a good sign. That's a good sign that says they have some good insulation in them, and they're not like, the heat's not escaping and melting the snow on their back. So that's actually a good little telltale sign that they're doing pretty decent. All right, so I made one last check of our water closet, make sure that light bulb is still on, and it's probably 55 degrees in there. So yeah, that's a pretty slick deal. All right, we'll catch you guys tomorrow. All right, so your one update for today, it's Thursday afternoon. It's 5 degrees, and we're gonna feed, and then we're done, because it's chilly outside. So a couple of challenges we run into on days like today. One, apparently that water is frozen. Not bad, but enough it's skimmed over. That hydrant, I'm confident that the hydrant isn't frozen, but what happens is the handle on top, where that rod goes down in to the actual hydrant itself, and it gets really hard to actually open it up. And it's not because the hydrant's froze on the bottom, like with water leaking or anything like that. It's just like surface water, like moisture right around the top, and it just makes everything stiff and really hard, and you don't want to force it. So you get a little warm water, put it on there, thaws it out quick, and it's really easy to open. All right, so what we're working with here is right here where the rod goes into this bushing and goes down in there. It's really stiff, and you don't want to wreck that. We just put a little bit of hot water on there, and it don't take much for this one. Opens right up. Water flows. So it's just that rod has just a little bit of surface ice on it, just enough to make it a pain, because if you force it, then what ends up happening is there's a set screw on that rod, and you're going to strip that set screw. Another typical thing, this is cow side, so you got what, 30 animals drinking out of it, 30 full-grown animals. You got one bull and some calves. So sometimes that'll skim over a little bit. You just break a little bit of ice loose and away you go. All right, let's see what's cracking here. I did bring my tester, and we take this off. We'll double check that that thing's actually running. Want to be kind of gentle with this since it is just plastic. And then, yeah, see, it's not too bad right there. This weekend I'll have to clean this guy out. And that's a good sound. That's the sound of running water. Yeah, it's running. I'm just gonna take this top off to see if the heater's actually working. Yep. Heater's working. All right, today is definitely a chilly one. So short and sweet on the feeding. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow. All right, hey, happy Friday. And we're getting a little bit later start. Took a half day today, and Bethany and I just kind of hung out, did a little shopping, went and had lunch. It was a nice afternoon. So now it's feeding time, and it's much nicer than it was yesterday. Oop, that is froze. Not really too unexpected. Sometimes that'll happen when you start dumping that little bit of water on there and stuff. So got to get a little more hot water, not a big deal. Just a little ice here. Not a big deal. Still open, still flowing. So bedding still looks halfway decent, even for the cows. 2 bale night tonight, and then corn silage. Everybody gets everything tonight. All right, so bales are done. I opened that water up. It's been running for like 6-7 minutes, so I gotta go shut it off. And it opened right up. It was just the same thing. That handle's just a little frizzed. I did put a little WD-40 on all the linkages, pivot points, and on that rod that goes down in there, just to maybe the next time it freezes up a little bit, it's got a little bit of schlippum, and I don't have to thaw it out. Did stop and get some Redmond loose salt. So this stuff, the 10 fine, this is what Fleet Farm had. They have the blocks, which the calves have. They have one of the blocks in there with them, with a selenium block. And then I got a couple of the loose bags just for the cows, because it did seem like they were going through the mineral a little bit quick. And if I was gonna get them loose trace, I figured I'd try it with a little bit better stuff. Last thing to do tonight is by forking, I'm gonna fluff up these piles. We're kind of right down to the bitter end here, but we forgot to do it with the tractor. All right, let's see if I can grab this guy. Oh yeah. Where? Hold. We're gonna do a little. There we go. And no shock, so no problem. Yeah, so that was half as bad as it was yesterday. It is Friday. It is the end of the day, end of the week, so it's the end of the video. Hope you guys liked the video. Please hit that thumbs up button as always. And if you got any questions, leave them in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe. I know like the vast majority, like 80% of you are not subscribed. That's okay. But it's free. Just hit the button and subscribe. That's all you got to do. And it definitely helps support the channel. And of course, thanks for coming along.